So in this video, we will cover the history of Latin America. This is the map of all the Latin American countries. Latin America contains the countries of the South America plus the few countries of North America except for the US and Canada. So from Mexico to the Central American countries and plus South American countries. This whole continent or landmass becomes the Latin America. This total landmass contains 33 countries with an estimated area of 2 crore square kilometers, and the biggest countries in Latin America are Brazil with an area of 85 lakh square kilometer, which is fifth largest in the world, Argentina with an area of 27.8 lakh square kilometer, which is eighth largest in the world. Its area is roughly equal to the area of India, which is seventh largest in the world. Now the third largest country in the Latin America is Mexico with an area of 19.7 lakh square kilometers, and its area is 13th largest in the world. Mexico lies in the continent of North America, but it is considered a Latin American country. So what is this word Latin? There are total 33 countries in Latin America of all languages, not just Ibero-America. Ibero means the countries of Iberian Peninsula in Europe, that is Spain and Portugal. So in Latin America, we consider not only the countries which were colonies of Spain and Portugal, but also the English and French colonies. For instance, the Caribbean islands or the West Indies, which we call them in common parlance. The word Latin is used to describe peoples who speak Romance languages, including Spanish, Portuguese, and French. So Romance languages were the languages which used to be spoken in the Roman Empire. Roman Empire comprised of lots of European countries. So Romance languages were the languages of Roman Empire countries. So it includes Spanish, Portuguese, French, and some other languages also. Entire continent of North and South America is named after a Florentine adventurer, Amerigo Vespucci, 1454 to 1512. He died in 1512. He called it New World or Fourth Continent after Europe, Africa, and Asia. Florentine was a kingdom in Italy. Today, this city comes in the Tuscany province. So he was Italian, Amerigo Vespucci. European explorers like Columbus thought that they have reached India. Actually, all the travelers and explorers were trying to discover the India and other Asian countries like China and Japan. So they were given orders or authority by the Spanish kings or Portuguese kings. So there was a race between Spain and Portugal that who will discover the India and the Asian countries first. So Amerigo Vespucci went to American continents instead of Asia. In the same way, Columbus also went to the American continent, the Caribbean islands, instead of reaching India. And after reaching Caribbean islands, he thought that he has reached India, and hence he called those Americans as Indians. So they were called Native Americans or Indians. And after the footfall of Columbus, the earlier era was referred as pre-Columbian era. Columbus reached West Indies Islands in 1492 and he touched mainland South America in 1498. It was Vasco da Gama who reached India in 1498 for the first time. So here Vasco da Gama of Portugal won the race. Now background in brief. The history of Latin America is marked by colonization, independence movements, revolutions, and the influence of the United States and the Cold War. Indigenous civilizations. Before Europeans arrived in the late 15th century, the region was home to many indigenous peoples, including the Olmec, Maya, Muisca, Aztecs, and Inca. There were many indigenous civilizations that were thriving in the American continent, like Maya civilization, Aztec civilization, Inca civilization. But when these explorers like Columbus and others reached the American continent, they made the people or the inhabitants of those civilizations captive. They captured some of them and took them back to the Spain and Portugal. And then further Spanish people and Portuguese people then reached these American islands and American continent in ships, and then they took over the entire continent and made the entire continent colonized. Now colonization, The Spanish and Portuguese kingdoms established colonies in the region, imposing their languages and Roman Catholicism. That is, the religion is Roman Catholicism. They also brought African slaves to work on plantations. Slave culture was prevailing at that time, and they brought lots of slaves from the African continent into the West Indian islands and other countries. Now, independence. In the early 19th century, most Spanish American areas gained independence through armed struggle, with the exception of Cuba and Puerto Rico. Revolutions. The Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804 inspired decades of struggles for independence and liberty across the hemisphere. US intervention. In the 20th century, the US intervened in the region and the Cold War had a significant impact. Spanish Pope Alexander VI, 1431 to 1503, divided New World between Spain and Portugal in 1493. So when Christopher Columbus reached West Indian islands in 1492, and then he went back to the Spain with some captives, Native American captives. Then Pope Alexander VI divided this new world between Spain and Portugal. Treaty of Tordesillas in 1494 further demarcated the area between Spain and Portugal. Treaty of Zaragoza gave Philippines to Portugal, which it exchanged with Spain for Brazil. Now, Mexico is the largest Spanish speaking country in the world, while Brazil is the largest Portuguese speaking country in the world. In the last slide, we saw that Brazil was taken by Portugal in exchange of Philippines. Brazil became and still is the largest Portuguese speaking in the world. Now, some facts about Mexico and Brazil. Mexico, its area is 19.7 lakh square kilometers, which is 13th largest in the world. Its population is 13 crore, which is 10th largest in the world. Its GDP is $1.8 trillion, which is 12th largest in the world. Its per capita income is $14,000, very high income, more than China. Its president is Claudia Sheinbaum. She is a lady who has been chosen recently, few months ago in 2024. Brazil, its area is 85 lakh square kilometer, fifth largest in the world. Population is 21 crore, sixth largest. Recently, Pakistan overtook Brazil in population and became fifth largest country. GDP of Brazil is also very large, $2.2 trillion and eighth largest in the world. Its per capita income is slightly over $10,000 and its president is Lula da Silva, who was also the former president of Brazil. So he has been chosen or he has been elected again as the president of Brazil. So from here we will start how the Latin American countries got their independence. In the upper left corner there is picture of Napoleon Bonaparte 1769 to 1821. He was the ruler of France and he also attacked and captured the territories of Spain and then he deposed the king of Spain. His act of deposing the Spanish king was met by refusal and revolt in Spanish colonies in South America. So from 1810, generally 1810, the South American countries under Spain, they started revolting against the Spanish rule. Most of the Latin America got freedom from Spanish and Portuguese rule in 1820s, in the decade of 1820, with the help of Simon Bolivar of Venezuela and San Martin of Argentina. These two people are the real heroes of Latin America independence. One is Simon Bolivar 1783 to 1830. He was from Venezuela. Second is San Martin 1778 to 1850 and he was the citizen of Argentina. Napoleon attacked Spain in 1808 and deposed Spanish King Charles and his son Ferdinand and installed his brother Joseph Bonaparte, which was refused by many in the colonies. Timeline of Latin American countries, revolts, and then independence. Haiti became the first country in Latin America to get independence. Here, revolt started in 1791 in territory of Saint Domingue in the western portion of Caribbean island of Hispaniola. Hispaniola is the second largest Caribbean island and it was divided into two portions, western portion and eastern portion. Haiti came out of the western portion and Dominican Republic came out of the eastern portion. It was a French colony from 1697 till 1804. Haiti was a French colony from 1697 till 1804 when Haiti became an independent nation. It was declared independent by Toussaint Louverture, a slave, in 1801. Napoleon sent troops and captured Toussaint. He was imprisoned in France, where he died. France finally recognized Haiti's independence in 1825. Eastern Spanish-speaking portion of Hispaniola separated and became independent country of Santo Domingo in 1821. It later became Dominican Republic. So here are the two photos. First is Toussaint Louverture, 1743 to 1803. He and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, 1758 to 1806, are called fathers of Haiti. Both were slaves. Now Mexico. In Mexico, two persons, Hidalgo and Morelos, are very important. Revolts by two Creole or Criollo priests. Creole means like Anglo-Indians in India, when either of the parent is British and other one is indigenous, that is Indian. So Creole means either of the parent is Spanish or Portuguese and other one is the Native American. So Creole, and in Spanish Criollo. So revolts by two Creole priests, Miguel Hidalgo, 1753 to 1811, and Jose Morelos, 1765 to 1815, started in 1810. Hidalgo is considered father of the nation. Hidalgo was tried and shot in 1811. His student Morelos declared independence in 1813. He was also condemned by Inquisition and shot dead in 1815. Mexico became independent till 1821. Spain ruled Mexico for 300 years. Here is a timeline how Latin American countries got independence. In 1811, Paraguay gains independence. 1816, Argentina gains independence. 1818, Chile gains independence. 1821, Guatemala gains independence. 1822, Brazil gains independence. 1824, Peru gains independence. 1825, Bolivia is created, and the name of Bolivia is on the name of Simon Bolivar. 1828, Uruguay gains independence. So Central America, how the Central American countries got independence. Central America is between Mexico and the South America, those countries, and Caribbean island countries. So these are Central America. Jose Matias Delgado, 1767 to 1832, a Criollo lawyer and priest, instigated a revolt in San Salvador, capital of El Salvador. In 1823, a constituent assembly met at Guatemala City and declared the independence of United Provinces of Central America. Manuel Jose Arce, 1787 to 1847, was the first president. Union lasted only till 1838 and broke into several independent countries of Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Honduras. Efforts for restoration of Union failed in 1842. Here are the photos of Delgado and Arce. Argentina and Andes. Andes is a mountain range which runs parallel to Chile, and some other countries are also separated by Andes mountain range. Chile. In 1817, an army led by San Martin defeated royalists, that is the forces of the ruler of Chile, in Battle of Chacabuco near Santiago, and appointed Bernardo O'Higgins as leader of Chile. In 1818, Higgins declared absolute independence of Chile from Spain and achieved it through a decisive battle in Maipo. Above is the photo of Bernardo O'Higgins, 1778 to 1842. Peru. Earlier revolts by Criollos in 1808 to 1813 and by Indians in 1814-15 were suppressed. In 1819, San Martin entered Peru, but it took 3 years to enter the capital Lima in 1821, where he declared independence from Spain. Argentina. The Argentine War of Independence was fought from 1810 to 1818. Argentine patriotic forces, led by Manuel Belgrano, Juan Jose Castelli, Miguel de Güemes, and San Martin, fought against Spanish royalists. Congress of Tucumán had already signed Argentine independence in 1816, but struggles remained till the liberation of Peru. Here is the photo of Manuel Belgrano, 1770 to 1820. Brazil. Brazil got independence from Portugal after more than 300 years of rule in 1822. Prince Pedro, son of King John VI, declared independence in 1822. Portugal officially recognized it in 1825 by Treaty of Rio de Janeiro. Pedro was the prince and was the son of King John VI of Portugal. He remained in Brazil. He did not go to the Lisbon, that is capital of Portugal, and he declared Brazil as an independent country in 1822. Venezuela. Simon Bolivar emerged as the leader of Venezuelan patriots after capturing Francisco Miranda, accusing him of deserting patriotic cause. The struggle started in 1810 and Venezuela finally got independence in 1821. As part of Bolivar's campaign to liberate New Granada, that is Colombia, Venezuela became part of Gran Colombia in 1819. Venezuela separated from Gran Colombia in 1830 and became a sovereign country. Colombia. Simon Bolivar declared Republic of Colombia in Bogota. Bogota is capital of Colombia in 1819 after defeating royalist forces. Same year, United States of Colombia was notified with Bolivar as president. In 1821, Venezuela and Colombia were united. Recently liberated Ecuador by his Assistant General Antonio Jose de Sucre, 1795 to 1830, with the support of San Martin, joined United States of Colombia in 1822 to form Gran Colombia. Thanks for watching.